So the quick answer is no. I don't really know any formal techniques or methods about this. In fact, I had to look up what it was. And once I did, I saw that it was similar to something I had been messing around with on my own in the past. And so if anybody wants to know just the general principles, I think I'm doing something similar and I think it applies. So you could take a picture and you could smear it in Photoshop. Or you could make a grad that represents the UV values and make a copy of that and then smear that. Notice I'm always going down and to the right. That's because when I subtract the distorted grad from the original grad, it makes an image of just relative displacement vectors, and Photoshop doesn't have negative numbers. That's also why I'm fogging it with gray, because Photoshop doesn't have negative numbers, so it treats middle gray like 0. So I'm using Photoshop to demo this, but you flatten the image, save it out, unfortunately only as 8 bits, won't do 16 bits. And then you can go to the displacement map, which is actually a 2-color displacement. People don't realize that in Photoshop, that it uses both channels. And you can displace it after the fact. So this is from the Wayback Machine. This is something where I was messing around with what I was calling smear now or smear later. It was basically what I just showed you. And then I thought, well, can I do the same thing with UV mapping and 3D objects? So I tried mapping a grad onto an object, and then in Shake, I didn't have Nuke, but in Shake, I started, and the reason I used Shake is because it has negative numbers and floating point math. And then I realized that I could kind of do UV mapping after the 3D UV mapping after the fact using 2D displacement. And then I thought about all this like pre-distort and then do a mosaic and then post-distort stuff. I have a TikTok on this as well. And I thought, can I generalize the entire process? And then I thought, well, I guess this UV thing could do it. You could distort the UVs and then get the displacement vectors, and then you could undo those. So that's the general idea behind the thing, I think. But apparently there's a well-developed science behind it all that people are doing a lot in production. Like I said, I'm a little bit out of that loop. But I looked online and there's a lot of information you can find out about it.